Hello and welcome back. Once again, it is time for the golden age of DC Comics 365 Days, where I take this beloved hardcover coffee table book given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends. It's been surfing my coffee table ever since, and it's been a constant source of great comic book conversation, the kind that we used to have in the comic book shop on any given Wednesday. I'm looking to recreate those conversations here, now, today, with you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm grateful and blessed that you're here. If you love comics as much as I do, then you have found the right channel at the right time. This is a 2004 Abrams publication, curated and written by Geoff Spear, Chip Kidd, and Les Daniels. There is a link to the Amazon page in the description if you want your own copy. It will look great on your coffee table too, and also makes a great gift for a geek. I know. The golden age of DC Comics runs from 1938 until 1955, the Silver Age from 1956 until 1970, the Bronze Age, I'm a Bronze Age baby, 1970 to 1985, and the Copper Age begins in 1985. And how are you doing today? I hope you're feeling excellent and doing well. I hope you have the ability to leave behind the world's problems, if just for a few moments. You know what goes great with a coffee table book and a coffee table talk? Pull up a chair and bring a cup of your favorite brew, whether it's coffee or tea. I got some Tanzanian pea berry today, and this is a great cup of coffee. This is so good. This is the part of the program I like to start off with. I do something called the escapism caveat. See, activism is very important. It's very needed. The world needs help. The people in this world need help. The animals and the plants. We need to be addressing problems. Yes, no problems addressing that or bringing that up here. But my problem is with the activists encroaching into spaces that have not been traditionally theirs, such as our comic book fandoms, our sports, and our sources of escape. We need to be able to escape our problems. It's called escapism, and that's what these are here for. Our fictions, our music, our art, and our sports. We need to be able to leave behind the worldly problems, whether they're interpersonal or global. We need to use our imaginations and find ourselves in different circumstances, in different worlds, even as different people. We can be the good guy, we can be the bad guy. And this is the whole reason for escapism, which I feel is equally important as activism. Yet activism has a really dark side. It insists that it needs to be everywhere now, and I defy that because they are just taking advantage of these pre-existing fandoms and using it as their platform to disseminate their message. We're just trying to reach and teach you. Well, guess what? You're screeching and you're preaching, and you've made it something that was fun not fun. And the insistence that anyone who doesn't get on board with you is bad or labeled with a bad term, I'm not buying that. Literally and figuratively. I find most modern fictions to be unwatchable and not worthy of time. And that's why I focus on the older stuff. And such as this book, The Golden Age of DC Comics. I'm using this book for its intended purpose. It's a 365 days book. We're going to open up to today's date, July the 17th. We're going to look at some comic book art from an Antediluvian age. We're going to read the blurb, and then we're going to talk about comic books. And we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So let's get to it. Awesome. And I hope you're feeling awesome and doing awesome. And find some escapism and come back to this world and confront your problems and the world's problems. We can do both. We really can. It is July the 17th. This is art by Sheldon Moldoff from Flash Comics number 21, cover dated of September of 1941. Appears to me like a footprint. Mon Dieu, it is the work of some practical joker. Ha 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 ha. That is my French accent. It is outrageous, is it not? Ça va? Comment ça va aujourd'hui? Ah, bien entendu. Let us read the blurb. Look out behind you. Not even a hunting dog seems to be able to sense trouble while his master examines an immensely oversized footprint. But this is a story where the villain's gigantic stature is no mere metaphor to liven up a splash panel. Quote, it's incredible. Incredible, but wait. I think this is a job for the Hawkman. Yes, indeed. Even the cover of Flash Comics number 21, cover dated September of 1941, with a cover price of 10 cents, that was over 60 pages, has Hawkman dueling with this robed giant behemoth who is like a kaiju creature, like a Godzilla, stomping through the city with some heat vision and burning things. And we're going to talk about Flash Comics number 21 specifically, just for a moment. But like I said, it's got a cover price of 10 cents. Now, using the CPI inflation calculator from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, 10 cents in February of 1941 has the same buying power as $2.07 as of May 2022. And so the median price of a comic book today is $3.99, and they have about 20 pages worth of content and maybe a couple of extra pages for house advertisements. Most comic books these days don't have paid advertisements anymore. Why? Because they're not sold on newsstands or on the spinner rack. They're not meant to be bought as a vehicle for advertisements. They're meant to be a place for intellectual properties to be marketed, and specifically, say, in bookstores as trade paperbacks, which are usually six issued collections, or as a novelty, a specialty in the comic book store with these, what we call the floppy. This is probably one of the most recent issues of a comic book I've purchased, and it has a price of $3.99. This is actually a joy to read. It has art that is reminiscent of the old G.I. Joe cartoon that I grew up with. But it's barely about 20 pages of content, then with what we call house ads. These advertisements are not for any products to be sold, like Hubba Bubba Bubblegum, or Red Ryder BB guns, or Kawasaki mini bikes, or any of the advertisements, or Nintendo games, any of the advertisements that you would see in any of the older comic books of the silver, bronze, and copper ages. These current age comic books, they don't feature product placement advertisements, only in-house. What we would call house ads. These are all IDW, from IDW Press. These are all offerings from IDW. There are no ads for any, any goods that you can buy at the store. But let's get back to Flash Comics number 21. So we've talked about its cover price. It also was over 60 pages long. It had 7 stories in it. Flash Comics usually profiled the Jay Garrick, the Flash, and Carter Hall, the Hawkman, and also several other characters that you may or may not have heard of. So in this specific issue, we had a Flash story called The Lottery. We had Johnny Thunder and Johnny Joins the Rodeo. Johnny Thunder was a kid who had made friends with the Magic Thunderbolt, who gave him extraordinary powers. So it was kind of maybe DC's way of getting back at Fawcett Comics for Captain Marvel in a way. Who knows? We have Les Sparks, radio amateur, and The Adventure of the Phantom Churchyard. We had The King in The Apartment Robbers, The Whip in Blackmail, Minute Movies, Supercrime, and finally, Hawkman, Menace from Space. Therefore, our giant foe who left the giant footprint, and you can see there's giant hand. Let's look at that art one more time to get a sense of what we're talking about again. A sense of proportion, because the giant's hand is equally in proportion to the two humans and the dog. Indeed, he's a giant threat. And also, I looked this up too in my Overstreet Price Guide. The Overstreet Price Guide is a very valuable set of standards. This is what their listings look like. We're specifically looking here. See, Flash Comics. And Flash Comics number 21, depending on the how good the issue is, from good at 2.0 to near mint at 9.2, that this issue today of Flash Comics number 21, depending on the condition of the magazine itself, will run you between $265 for a 2.0, a good copy, to $4,100 for a 9.2 near mint. So, yeah, keep your old comic books. It's a seller's market these days. Old comic books are a booming business. Makes me want to reevaluate my collection and maybe see if I can free up some space in my long boxes. But yeah, that's the Overstreet Price Guide, and this is great for any comic book fan. I would advise getting a copy of this. You can get one of these on Amazon for about $22, I believe, and I'll be getting one every year going forth because I'm a comic books nut. This is what I do. I love comics, and I talk about comics. And guess what? We're going to be talking about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and we'll find out who we're talking about when we turn the page tomorrow. Like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. Seriously, I'm growing my little channel, and I'm reaching for the stars. Seriously, and I can make it with your help. Put on the notifications, ring that bell. Subscribe to Reverend Sully's station, Eric O'Sullivan's station. We talk about cooking. I'm a professional chef. I'm also known as the Sultan of Soup. My soup shorts are pretty popular, I hear. I'm also an ordained minister, an amateur theologian, a spiritual guy. We get spiritual here, and I try I want to pay it forward that I was reminded about the power of gratitude, and it helped me with my purpose. And if I can help one or two people out there be reminded, of their gratitude, if they're feeling down, you can really pick yourself up with a gratitude list. I would highly advise that if you're feeling down. And thank you so much for tuning in today. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. And we will see you tomorrow in the funny pages, okay? Cheers. Bye-bye.